Hello, everyone. Welcome back to In the Yard podcast with your hosts, Collin and Braeden Cox. And this past weekend, Braeden and I both went to Citizens Bank Park for the Red Sox versus the Phillies in Philly game this past Saturday. It was a great time, and we're just going to give our overall reaction about the whole thing and just kind of just go over the whole process of going to the game and just our overall experience. So,
Sure.
This was my first time hitting Citizens Bank Park since I was like 11 or 12 years old. So it's been a while for me. And this was my first time like going obviously as an adult by myself kind of thing. So I was able to do my own thing. I had to drive myself, and Braeden, who lives, I think, what did you say, a 45-minute train ride away from Citizens Bank Park?
It's a closer train ride. It's about a 45-minute drive.
Yeah. So he lives 45 minutes. For me, it was about could be 2 hours, but traffic extended a little bit. It ended up being like 2 hours and 15 minutes.
Yeah.
So, we're going to get right into it. So my girlfriend, Hannah, shout out to Hannah, she bought me tickets to the Phillies game for my birthday. So we went, and I have to say, I guess we'll start off with the ticket prices. Ticket prices are not terrible. Like, they're pretty solid for ticket prices. We got very good seats. We were right down the first baseline, 10th row. Actually, literally was 2 seats away from a foul ball. We'll get into that too a little later. But yeah, great seats. I don't think they were too expensive, and just overall pretty solid gig with those tickets over there. Bray sat more in right field.
Yeah, I was closer to right field. But I went with a few buddies of mine who, work at the same company that I work at, and they had like 4 seats, so they were like partial season ticket holders. So they had like seats 1 through 4, and then when they told me, I went and I couldn't find a ticket like in like seat 5, right? I can only find it in seat 12, and I never actually sat in seat 12 in the row. I just kind of bounced around, and then when someone would show up, I would just like find another seat, and no one really questioned me. And then for like two-ish innings, I went and sat by Collin, who was closer to first base.
Yeah. So overall ticket price is solid for what we got.
Yeah. No, definitely. I mean, it's not like it's a huge rivalry, but it's Philly versus Boston. It's a big.
It was still
Northeast
Saturday night. Like, it was sold out. It was probably
Saturday night,
99% capacity.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's Philly versus Boston, so it's not like I wouldn't consider that to be like an MLB rivalry, but it's just like a sports city rivalry, right?
Mm-hmm. Right. So yeah, I guess we'll get into the travel. The traveling for me was fine. I don't love driving to places, but this was definitely, I had my co-pilot navigator in Hannah, so she helped me get there. But yeah, it was for the most part, pretty smooth. Again, I did hit a little bit of traffic on the turnpike that I took there, and then obviously traffic right outside the stadium. But again, just standard traffic. Once we were around Philly, like all the way down, it was pretty fine. Nothing crazy, so can't complain about the travel.
So was there more traffic?
Drive to the Bronx, where it'd be hectic and you'd be sitting on the bridge for 2 hours.
More traffic going to or from?
Definitely 2 for me.
Yeah, I was gonna say that sounds about right.
Once I got on the turnpike to go back home, I didn't hit traffic at all.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess the travel was pretty solid. So I give that pretty good rating as well. So I guess we'll go to the ballpark experience. So there was, I guess, Philly, they have the big parking lot, then you got the Wells Fargo, and then you have Citizens Bank, and you have the Link, and you have the big parking lot pretty much right in the middle of all of it. So I personally didn't tailgate. I know it was already packed when I got there. People were tailgating, playing cornhole, doing tailgating stuff. And I saw a lot of like college kids in the lot I was in. It was like all probably kids probably age 19, 25, like that range. I would say mostly. So that was pretty cool to see. Maybe next time I go, if I don't have to drive home, I could participate in the tailgating events. So that was pretty cool. And then going into the ballpark, beautiful site. just overall really nice. You got the banners there. Easy. It was like easy to walk to. You don't have to walk to like sketchy streets or anything. Everything's just right there. I think I went on the first base side, and so yeah, nice ballpark. When you get in, it's even nicer. Just you have the bell, the ringing bell with the lights, and you have the like Philly stadium. Their jumbotron is awesome. It's like super high def. So yeah, that was cool. They have all those hype videos. I thought that was cool to see.
I would say of all the, and it's not like it's a crazy amount, of all like the sporting events I've been to, whether it's the NFL, MLB, or whatever it may be, right? I think Philly has probably the best setup, right? Because parking is never really an issue. Like,
yeah, I found my spot right away.
When I went earlier in the year, I think it was like $25 to park, but then I took the train on Saturday, so like I didn't have to worry about that, right? But like the setup of having like the Wells Fargo Center where the Sixers and Flyers play, and then having the Link where the Eagles play, where Citizens Bank Park where the Phillies play, and then having like Xfinity Live like almost smack dab in the middle. It's a really cool setup, and it works really well. And like you said, like it's a cool area, it's a safe area. It's fun. It's a fun time. Right. I can just imagine like during like when baseball intersects with like the MLB or the NBA playoffs, and like you could go to a Phillies game at like 1, right? You could then go to a Sixers game at 7 p.m. and you only have to walk like maybe a quarter mile.
Yeah.
Which I think that's really cool. You can't really do that anywhere else that I've been. Like, Yankee Stadium, if you wanted to go, you go to Yankee Stadium. It's not like you could get on the subway or a train or whatever and go to another, arena. But it's like everything is so close in Philly. It's really set up well.
Right. Yeah, super cool setup. I'm actually glad though that Sixers weren't playing that night.
Oh, it would have been.
I think the Sixers
hectic.
played Friday and Sunday night.
Yeah, it would have been fun, but it would have been hectic.
It would have been a lot more hectic. I feel like it would have been crazier, especially since the Sixers were like it's playoff, like it's the Eastern.
They're up 3-2.
Eastern Conference semifinals, right?
Yeah.
So that would have been crazy, but I'm kind of glad I avoided that. And then you brought up Xfinity Live again. I didn't really participate in any like pre things. I kind of got there and went right into the stadium. Yeah. But Xfinity Live, when I was walking out, like I didn't really notice when I was walking in. When I was walking out, it was like it just seemed packed. It seemed like the inside was packed, and then even the outside, like everyone just waiting to get in. So maybe next time I could hit that.
Yeah.
It was
I went in.
Night game, so I kind of just wanted to get home after it ended.
Yeah, the game started at like 7, right? It was like 7:15 or something like that.
Yeah, 7:15.
I went to Xfinity Live at like 6, and then you just hung out. It's cool. It was beautiful. Like as far as the weather, it was like perfect. Yeah, you could literally have not drawn up a better, baseball game like at night, like in May. Like you could not have beaten it, right? Because you're perfectly comfortable in a t-shirt and shorts. You're not getting eaten alive. It's great. It was perfect night. And then after the game, I went in Xfinity Live. I was only in that line for maybe 10 minutes. But yeah, it's a good time. You know what I mean? Because everybody, the Phillies didn't end up winning, but everybody is, for the most part, excited. I mean, the Eagles were just in the Super Bowl. The Sixers look probably like the best team in the East right now. We'll see. But, there's a lot to like look forward to if you're a Philly sports fan. So everybody's kind of, up and at it.
Yeah. Cool. So, I guess I'm going to get into the food now.
Okay.
Yeah, because when you go to a ballpark, you gotta rate the food, right?
Yeah, of course.
So, I got a cheesesteak. I think it was like $17.
Yeah.
But like this is my first like Philly cheesesteak like probably ever.
Okay.
So I think when I used to go to Phillies games, I used to get pizza instead. But the food options, I will say, were really like they had a lot of stuff that you could choose. They had obviously
they have a lot.
Cheesesteaks,
they got
pizza, chicken tenders. They had it all. Like when you go to the Bronx, they didn't really have that kind of selection. Really,
you can go to the Bronx and get a lot, but it's almost like Philly had everything that you can get in the Bronx plus some. You know what I mean? Right. And then of course you're in Philly, so cheesesteaks. That's their thing.
So yeah, had to try the Philly cheesesteak. I thought it was fantastic. Definitely hit the spot. And then not too expensive. So I give the food there a 10 out of 10. Maybe I was just really hungry too. But
and that's,
yeah,
and that's the thing, really is like $17 for, you know, a cheesesteak. It sounds like a lot, but like, if you go to like an
it's
actual,
really not. It was like a foot. It was like almost a foot and a half.
That's what I'm saying. Is if you go to like an actual like restaurant and get a cheesesteak, right? Especially in Philly, right?
Yeah,
you're going to spend.
Like anyway.
You're gonna spend like almost that, and like you're in the ballpark, so it's like a convenience thing.
Right.
So
yeah, definitely didn't jam me with my cheesesteak. I thought it was fantastic. Portion was really good, and yeah, so I got the food there solid.
Yeah, like if you're
definitely
gonna go to
better than any New York Yankees food that I've had.
Yeah, no, and that's a fair point. Like probably the best way to look at it is like if you are in the Bronx, and they say that the food is just better in New York, New Jersey, like, and I think that's a fact, right? But like there's nothing that I've ever eaten in Yankee Stadium that like, wow, like if I just like drove like a few blocks or walked a few blocks, like I could get something so much better, right? I feel like in Philly, like you can go to Pat's and get a banging cheesesteak, right? But the one in Citizens Bank Park, I'm not gonna lie, is good. I got it the first time I went earlier this year, and I was like, I was impressed given that it was a baseball game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? Like, and it's like, the Yankee, the MasterCard chicken bucket at Yankee Stadium. It's like one of those things, like, you have to get it at least once during the season. Like, if you go to multiple games, you don't have to get it every time because it's a ton of food, right?
Yeah.
And, like, you eat it and you're loving it in the moment, but then, like, once you're, like, digesting it, you're like, you kind of feel terrible
you feel like
about
crap
yourself.
after you eat that chicken bucket.
Exactly. It's so greasy.
I didn't feel that way about the cheesesteak.
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly. And that's the thing with the chicken bucket is it's like it's so good while you're eating it, but then after you're like, oh, like that was it was too much. But the chicken bucket, even with like if you're like because isn't it like if you're a MasterCard, if you use your MasterCard, like it's like discounted or something.
You get like a free soda or something. That's
it's like
nothing crazy.
Yeah, like it's still like $22.
Yeah, it's like $22.50, but it does feed too. Like you could share it.
But you could share. You could share the cheese. You could probably share the cheesesteak, and depends how hungry.
I don't know. I was so hungry I wouldn't like. Hannah and I both got our own.
Fair.
So she ate like half of hers, then I ate like a little bit of it, but I didn't finish hers. So yeah, food there is solid. You gotta talk about the food at the ballpark. Also got, also ended up getting ice cream and a souvenir hat. Obviously.
Oh, you got a hat?
I got like the little mini one with that the ice cream comes in.
The what comes in?
Like the ice cream, like when they put the ice cream on the little helmet cup.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant you went and you got ice cream and then you also got something. It came in the cat. Yeah, I got you.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So yeah, that was good. Even though I did ask for a twist with chocolate sprinkles, and they ended up giving me a twist with rainbow. I couldn't complain.
Brutal.
I mean,
brutal.
Honestly though, like if you go to ice cream places around here, like our town, they're like $5 a piece anyway. So like it was like,
and how much was
almost
how
the
much
same
was
price as
how much was CBP
generally? What's that?
How much was it in CBP? In Citizen Bank?
Hannah and I both got a twist in the souvenir cup for like $17 a piece.
Yeah, it's not even that bad. Like it's expensive.
No, not a piece. 17 altogether.
I knew that's what you meant. Like that. Yes, that's expensive, but like. Not
if you
like
compare,
insanely.
Like if I would have gotten 2 ice creams from Hilltop down the street, it would have been like $12-15.
That's
like,
a fact. It would have easily.
And you don't get a cool cup.
$12.
And they gave the Phillies gave us a lot of ice cream. Like neither of us finished it. Like it was a lot.
Good.
So I'm definitely happy with the food there.
Yeah, I didn't eat anything. I didn't eat anything the second time I went. I don't think. No, I didn't eat anything.
Damn, you're crazy.
I had a couple beers, but like
it's the pitch timer.
Yeah,
you get through it. Like that's another thing. That was my first.
Go ahead.
That was my first game with the pitch timer. Like the first time going to a game. That was my first.
But you
game
know
of
what?
The season, so.
And we can talk about this too. Did that game really feel like faster? right? Because that's the thing I've noticed. So I've been to 3 games this year. I went to the opener, Yankees in San Francisco, right? And I've been to 2 Phillies. I went to the Dollar Dog Night against Seattle like 3 weeks ago. And then I went on Saturday with you, right? And I thought that the game I went to in New York was like quick, but not too quick. I thought the Dollar Dog Night game, I was like, bro, that flew by. It felt like it went so quick, and it was like, I don't know. But then the one against the Red Sox, I thought felt like last year. I don't know. Maybe it felt different because it was your first game, but it didn't feel like it was like flying by. When I went to the Dollar Dog Night game against Seattle like 3 weeks ago, I was like, it was like the 5th inning, and I was like, I felt like I've been here for like 40 minutes maybe.
Really? See, I kind of felt opposite. Like,
okay,
I think the game ended at 10:07.
But that's long. That's 3. That's 3. Like, that's a little over 3 hours.
But considering how many runs were scored, it was like a 7-4 game.
That's true. There were a lot of runners on base.
Usually, like last year, a 7-4 game would have lasted like 3.5, 4 hours probably. Yeah. Not 11 runs because it was 7.
Well, no, it's obviously it's faster by default, but it didn't feel like, and maybe that's just because a lot of runs were scored.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, I kind of felt the pitch time like a little bit because like the first 3 innings for me like flew by.
That's how also like no I've noticed that too.
Those first 3 innings really too. I think the Phillies might score like 1. And then we went to go to cheesesteaks. Of course, there was like a long line for that, so we went probably like 10, 15 minutes.
Yeah, you miss an inning if you go.
And I think we missed like a full inning, which is like unfortunate. Like we paid to watch the game, but we were starving, so. And we tried to time it so we wouldn't miss too much. Like we left like right after the 1 inning ended, but
yeah. And let me tell you, I know the game. I don't want to get sidetracked here, but I know the game I went to the Dollar Dog Night.
Yeah.
Like I don't know if I don't know if they even have any more Dollar Dog Nights this season, but like if you can go to a Phillies game and you don't mind going on like a Tuesday, right? Like you're gonna get back late, but like work from home the next day, like you're fine, right? Let me tell you, the Dollar Dog Nights are crazy.
Dude, I saw a video of people throwing the hot dogs.
Bro,
everywhere.
it is.
Was that from when
insane.
You went, or is it like that every time?
It's like it every time. It's insane because like
win or lose.
Bro, it doesn't seem to matter. I think people just like they just like stop caring. Like, hold up, let me see. See, and that's the thing. Like yesterday, the Phillies won, but 8-4, and people were still throwing hot dogs. It's crazy. Yeah. And when I went, there was like 60-something thousand hot dogs sold, which is crazy. But then I shouldn't say it's funny, but like essentially what happens is it gets to like the 6th, 7th inning, and people either get bored or they're drunk or whatever it may be, and then they're just kind of like, oh, screw it. And then like the hot dog, like when I went, like just flying, like I saw like multiple people get hit in the back of the head with a hot dog. Crazy.
Wow.
You know what it is? It's as soon as they actually have a you know how they have like the T-shirt cannon?
Yeah.
They have it. They have a Hatfield hot dog cannon that the Philly fanatic rides around on an ATV, and he stops in the park and he shoots hot dogs into the stand. So like, and that
hot
happens
dogs, in like a tinfoil thing.
Yeah, like wrapped up.
Yeah.
So I think what happens is that happens in like maybe the 5th or 6th inning, and
that
like
definitely gets people throwing hot dogs everywhere. Like, why would they think that's a good idea?
It's hilarious. It's cool. You see a couple people like grab them, but like it's a cool like sponsor, like because Hatfield sponsors the whole thing. Right. It's cool, but like as soon as that happens, I think it just ignites something in everyone that's just like, hey, like I want to act a little out of pocket here. And yeah, like I was sitting and I was like all the way up at the top of the first game I went to, and like people were like in the nosebleeds, like a few rows from the very top, and they're like tossing the ball, and it's going into like the lower bowl, like where we were sitting, and like, you know, it's a hot dog, but with that kind of speed on it, like, you know, you're gonna feel it if you're not expecting it.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah,
that's another thing I want to get into is the fans of the Phillies game.
Sure.
So we talked about the food, talked about the travel, talked about the price. Fans, well, obviously Phillies fans are relentless as it is. I think they I don't even know who the starter was, but he had I looked him up before the game. He had like an 8-something ERA at that point. So like, oh yeah, this is not going to be good.
You knew going in a lot of runs were going to be scored.
And
Corey Kluber was on the mound for Boston, so you knew it was like this is going to be a high scoring game, and the final was what 7-4, which isn't crazy, but that's 11 runs.
Right. Yeah, but it's another thing. So like the starting pitcher, like they basically booed him out. Like the people were screaming, "Get him out!" Like I never really heard that in the Bronx. Maybe that's because in the Bronx I sit like higher, so I can't hear as much. But like they were booing, like they were like booed him off the mound. It
depends on the player because the thing is, in the Bronx, bro, I went to the playoff series last year. They were playing Cleveland, and it was like the rain out game, and it ended up being the next day. And let me tell you, like I think Judge struck out like 3 or 4 times, and the stadium was booing. Like, people were booing, and this is Aaron Judge we're talking about.
Right.
Right? Like, we've earned the right to boo.
Fresh off breaking the home run record.
Yeah. We've earned the right to boo against, like, an Aaron Hicks. Right? You know what I mean? I don't openly, like, boo against any Yankee, but, you know, there's more, like, justification to boo against someone like Aaron Hicks because, like, every Yankee fan is on the same page, and the Yankees are just kind of stubborn about it, right?
Right.
I mean, it seems like they're getting a little bit better about it. They're introducing other players, but that's a whole other topic, right? But the point is like, in Yankee Stadium, like, if the team is not playing well, it doesn't matter who the player is. There's, like, an expectation, right? And that's across most big sports markets. But you saw it definitely on Saturday.
Right. And then another thing I wanted to mention about the fans, not just the booing, but like the Phillies were like kind of rallying. It was like they were down like 2 or 3 runs like most of the game, and they get like a guy on, get 2 guys on. Bryce will go his yard, then Kyle Schwarber comes up with like I think like a guy on first, down by 2, and then everyone is still just like quiet, like they're not really cheering, they're just still watching, which kind of personally I try to get them going. I try to start. You're not even
like a real.
I'm not a real Phillies fan, but like I want some electricity there, you know.
Yeah, it's funny because I'm sitting next to Collin.
Right.
And
like I'm cheering more than the
stadium's
Phillies
like
fans.
silent, and then you just hear Collin that's like, "Here we go, Phil." Like, you know what I mean? And it's like, this is a Yankee fan. This coming from someone who like y'all should hate.
And everyone's just kind of looking at me. I guess a few people like clapping along, but not actually saying "Let's go Phillies." So it's another thing. Like, well. No, like they're kind of flat. So why don't we try to get them up a little bit? But you know, people didn't really participate. No one was trying to cheer them on. So this thing, like, and if it was a Yankees game, I know I hate comparing to Yankees, but obviously we're Yankees fans, so we're going to do that. Like when we go to Yankees games, like even if the Yankees get a guy on first, like, it's let's go Yankees. Like no, they're down by 10, up by 10. Doesn't matter. True. Like everyone's screaming, "Let's go Yankees!" Yeah. And then just meanwhile in Philly, they're kind of just like, they're kind of more like weather fans, I would say, a little bit.
It needs to be like, it needs to be going really well for it to
for
be,
them to cheer,
you know what I mean? For them to cheer, because at that point, where like that instance you're talking about, it was like like you said, they were down by like 2 and they ended up losing by 3, right? And it was just very, like. It wasn't like nobody cared. It was just like. It's like they gave up. It was kind of like they gave up. I mean, they were perfectly capable of booing the pitcher out of there because they didn't have a great start, right? But, like, it just wasn't, like, very... You kind of expect when your team's doing well that the fans cheer. And, like, I'm not saying I need it every single time, but, like, bro, Bryce Harper hit his first home run coming back from Tommy John surgery, and it was, like, crickets.
Right.
It was like that play should have been crazy.
Yeah.
That play, like that's what I'm saying. They were in the World Series last year. That play should have been rocking when he hit that home run.
I feel like I was more excited for Bryce's home run than we were sitting next to me at that point, right?
Yeah, I feel like we were more
excited than like all the fans around us.
I saw both home runs with you because Harper hit his in the 5th, and I sat with you from like the 5th, 6th, and 7th because Bryce hit his in the 5th and Trey hit his in like the 6th or 7th.
Yeah. And like again, like they were in it. Like I never felt the Phillies were out of it. You know, like, sometimes like you could tell, like you could kind of tell if they got to the Red Sox bullpen, they'd have a pretty good shot.
Yeah.
But again, like I guess the fans just didn't really feel the same way. So.
Yeah. It is what it is. I just thought that was like my biggest surprise. I was like, bro, Bryce Harper just hit his first home run of the year. You guys won the World Series last year. And it wasn't like it was dead. And like people stood up, but it wasn't like, I don't know. Like, I don't know how to, it's hard to even explain.
Yeah.
Like, you just kind of expected more because like, you saw what like when Judge hit his first home run of this season, you saw how crazy Yankee Stadium went. And it was like, you didn't really get that.
Right. No, I agree. I agree. I was expecting a lot more, just a little more crowd noise after that Bryce home run. I was going to get to that, but you kind of covered it all.
And it wasn't like, the thing is his home run, it wasn't like he hit like a bomb. Like, it was like a line drive.
But you kind of knew it was out right away.
Yeah, you did.
I knew it was out right away.
I guess because it was like this, like you knew, like, yeah, I guess you're right. Like, you kind of knew off the bat, but like, it, if that's like a few feet lower, it's not a home run.
Yeah, maybe you're right, but
you know what I mean? Like, maybe,
and it was a home run anyway, so like it doesn't matter. And
no, you're right.
I think it was like a 4-2 game at that time. Like he made it 4-3, something like that. So like there was definitely reason to cheer. It wasn't like they were down by 10 and he hit like a garbage time homer.
His home run made it 5-3 Boston.
He made it 5-3 Boston. Okay, so he cut the lead to 2 instead of 3.
He cut, yeah.
But again, like it was the 5th inning at that time, so like a lot of game left. No reason to not cheer.
A lot of game.
Yeah,
you got 4 full innings to play.
Right.
Yeah.
So
anyway,
yeah, definitely the Phillies fan kind of disappointed me a little bit. Kind of seemed like they're honestly, it seemed like they're there just to drink, and then watch the game and then drink after too. Like it kind of what it seems like to me. I don't think I'm wrong or right when I say that.
I think that might just be a lot of sports in general, but I totally got that vibe. I totally get what you're saying.
Right. And then
that's like fair. Like if that's what you want to do, like who cares?
Right.
But anyway. But it sounds like that we're gonna potentially hit a Baltimore Orioles game this year.
Yes.
So we'll do a video similar to this for that. And it sounds like you are gonna go to Nationals Park.
Yeah.
So.
Do another one of those too.
Whatever
park I've hit, I'll get a review in.
Yeah, I might try to like hit somewhere like completely different.
Yeah. Oh, and then one more thing, I want to talk about that foul ball. So.
Okay.
So I think I told you. So there was. Hannah and I had seat 3 and 4. So from the aisle going to the left, there's 1, 2. I think, and I assume it was a son, like an older son, like 30 years old, I would say, right? You saw him, and his dad, I would assume.
Yeah.
Just enjoying a game. They were Red Sox fans, and then me and Hannah were right next to them. And so those are the seats we bought. We bought those 3 and 4 seats.
Yeah.
And then when you got there, like in the 5th inning, those 3 seats were open. Like those 3 seats were open the whole time, but. You know if people are going to show up late or whatever, right? So we kind of just didn't sit in them for a little bit until you got there. I'm like, well, it's 5th inning. If they're not showing up now, then we might as well move down. So we moved down one, and then Hannah was sitting closer to... I was sitting closer to them to start, and then when I sat next to you, just in the middle of you and Hannah, she heard the guy say, she's like, why didn't they do that why didn't do that 4 innings ago? I'm like, well, we didn't know if people were gonna show up, and these were the seats we bought. So I don't understand why you're making a big deal out of it.
Yeah.
It was like we were being annoying or drunk or anything. Like,
yeah,
I don't know. It just kind of rubbed us the wrong way. So the 5th inning comes around, or not 5th. The 9th inning comes around. Kike Hernandez is up, and he hits a foul ball. Literally comes like right to us. Like, oh my god! It was like a pop up, pretty high pop up. So the other guy, 2 seats down from me.
To your left or right? Wait, to your left or right?
To my left.
Okay.
So not the Red Sox fan that I was just talking about, the other.
Yeah, I know exactly who you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, this guy was a Phillies fan. So the ball comes right to him. I hear the ball hit his hands, and he's holding his hands here like this. Like I thought he had the ball. Like I thought he had it. I was like, did you catch that? And he's like, just like shakes his head. He's like, I don't know where it went. So apparently, because I didn't see it bounce anywhere. Like I thought he caught it, and I didn't see the ball because I was looking at his hands.
Yeah.
But of course it bounces off of his hands, over my head because I didn't even see it, over Hannah's head, and the jerk Red Sox fan catches it.
Of course.
Yeah. So
I mean, it was a Hernandez. It was a Red Sox hitter. But
I looked it up on MLB Film. We didn't get on TV or anything.
That's funny.
They cut away from the foul ball before it landed. But yeah, of course. And then there's like kids everywhere. It doesn't give it to a kid, which is like.
Did he give it to somebody? Did he give it to a kid?
This guy's like 30 or 35 years old. What?
Did he give it to a kid?
No, he kept it. I didn't see him give it to a kid. That's what I mean. Like, I think if I would have I would have held the ball, like taken a picture with it, say I got a ball, and then like handed it off to someone, like a kid or something.
I would do the same thing. Like, it would be like the moment of catching it would be cool, but then it's like, I don't need this.
Right.
It's not worth anything. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
It's not like Judge's 62nd or something like that. It's just, it's a foul ball of Enrique Hernandez of the Red Sox. Like, who cares?
Exactly. So, I mean, the guy to the right was a Red Sox fan, the guy that ended up with it, but...
Yeah.
Still rubbed me the wrong way that he kept it for himself. I don't know, he just seemed like I don't know, we heard him complain about that.
Yeah, over no big deal.
Yeah. No big deal. It's, you're going to run into those kinds of people at games. Maybe he'll end up listening to our podcast one day.
Yeah, maybe.
So yeah, that's about all I have. Overall, great experience going to Citizens Bank Park this past weekend. Super fun game. Fans disappointed me a little bit. Was cool to see Bryce's first home run.
Yeah, that was worth it right there.
You can see on our shorts that we post on YouTube. I was recording for his hit, for his first or second at bat, I think it was. I was recording his hit, and then for his home run, I wasn't recording, of course.
Of course, yeah.
It would have been cool to get that, but can't catch them all.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Cool.
Gonna hopefully hit a few more ballparks, so we'll give you some more reviews.
Absolutely.
About those. But yeah, overall, Citizen Bank Park, beautiful park. Great experience, great food.
Good time. Yeah, it was a good time.
Good atmosphere, good environment. Packed that day we went, so yeah, it was a good time.
Awesome.
Cool. Anything else to add?
No, it's a good park to go to. I'll probably find myself there at some point this season again, so it's close enough. Yeah. And we're obviously going to hit Yankee games. Like, we got to be clear there. We're gonna hit at least one or two this summer. Right. We were thinking the Padres series maybe on Memorial Day weekend. We'll see, but
we'll see.
See Tatis and Matt Carpenter's return to New York. That'd be the coolest part for me, is see Matt Carp back in New York.
That'd be interesting. Not Tatis, cool. Machado, Matt Carpenter.
Yeah.
Return of the stash.
There you go.
There we go.
Oh well. Cool.
All right. Thank you, everyone, for listening. That's my reaction to my experience at Citizens Bank Park this past weekend. Hope you enjoyed. Hope you get out there. I'd highly recommend getting to the bank if you're close, or even if you're not close. It's a good experience. Good fans,
in the area,
good food.
do it. Yeah.
So there we go.
Cool.
Yep. Thank you, everyone, for listening. In the Yard Podcast. We'll see you soon.
Yep.